औदु बिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम नहमदु नुसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद। Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dureshawar Mirza again with you, and today inshallah I will be telling you and sharing with you a story of another sister who had come for counseling to me. This sister, subhanallah, is a very young lady, a beautiful young lady, educated, talented, skilled, mashallah, very lovely girl. And she has been engaged to a relative, a cousin of hers, for quite some years now. So a couple of years maybe they've been engaged, and they've been talking, exchanging views with each other and so on. After all that, they've been really eager to get married to each other. Obviously, when you're engaged to somebody for a couple of years and talking to them, you definitely get to like each other and the eagerness to get married and settle down. So these two got married and settled down, mashallah. Both the families had a very large, lavish wedding for this girl, and mashallah, everything was going super fine. After marriage, a couple of months after marriage, this girl comes to me and says, I'm having problems with my marriage. I asked her, what are the problems you're having? You got married to somebody you wanted to get married, and you knew him for the past 2 years. So what's the problem you're having now? She goes, I have known him and we were like friends, and we had lots to share with each other when we used to talk on phone or on chat and so on. Now he's my husband and he's acting husband. What does that mean? What is he supposed to do? I was confused. What does she want from this marriage? He is supposed to act husband. What do you mean by acting husband? And she says, well, he's asking me to make a cup of tea for him. He can make a cup of tea himself. And I said, well, you can also make a cup of tea for him. She said, but why? He was making a cup of tea for himself before I got married to him. Just because I've got married to him and I've become a wife to him, he's commanding me to make a cup of tea. This is a problem. Now imagine this girl, where is her mind? That means what's problem in this whole story? Lack of knowledge. Knowledge of what? She does not know what Islam says the responsibilities and duties of a wife is towards the husband. She does not know that she has to serve him in the best possible manner, without him asking. It's sweet of him that he's asking, and she should honor that. Rather, she's complaining. Not only just complaining, she was very angry about it. And she was very stubborn about it, that she will not make the cup of tea for him. And he cannot ask her. Look at the attitude. What she had was a lot of pride and arrogance about herself. She felt she's somebody who cannot make a cup of tea for him. I'm not his servant, she said. But it's the duty of a wife to serve her husband. Not always a servant has to serve her husband. I'll be honored if I have to serve my husband. I won't think I've become a servant to him. That's the duty Allah has assigned for me towards my husband. Here she is, and she says, now next, I don't know what he's going to demand, so I need some counseling on this. I can't do these things for him. What other issues do you have? I told her. Carry on. Second issue she comes up with. I want to go out with my friends. I always went out with my friends whenever I wanted to. I go out for a cup of tea, shopping, malls, movie, whenever I like. I have been like that, I brought up like that, and when I used to speak to him on the phone, I used to tell him, that's the kind of lifestyle I'm in. He's aware of my lifestyle. But he says to me now, you're my wife. You cannot just give a call to me and say, I'm going out. You have to ask my permission. I'm not used to asking permission. I just tell and go out. There you go. Again, she does not know. She has to ask his permission. And now she has to maybe give more attention to the husband than the friends. Maybe she should go out for a coffee with him rather than with friends. And maybe he's feeling he needs her company. But she said, no, I like to go out with my friends. And she would go out with friends. And this issue, she brought it up to me saying that I cannot live with him. I told her, does he beat you? She said, no, he dare not. Okay. Does he womanize? No, he's a good guy. He's from a good family. Right. Does he drink? Is he an addict? Drug addict? Does he smoke? She said, no such things. Okay, so he has no bad habits, right? No, he has no bad habits. But he's very demanding. He's always demanding, do this for me, do that for me. I can't do these things for him. Can you imagine that just for that issue, she decided to forego this marriage? She decided to dump this husband? And she did not realize what it will take. So I told her, give a trial basis. Come, if you really cannot put up with it, don't go for a divorce yet. Give yourself a time, give it a try, live away from him and see how you feel about it. So she winded up and came to her parents' house. And she told the parents, I'm not going to live with him, I'm not going to tolerate these things, and I'm not going to bend down to these commands and demands, and I'm not going to stay with him. So she came back to the parents' house. What happened, do you know? The father had a heart attack. He just could not take it. He got his daughter married with a lot of happiness, lot of hopes for her future. And there she is back in the father's house with an attitude problem. Simply attitude problem. She is not even regarding what is the consequences that she will go through after this breakup. But she has broken up, taken a separation, come to the parents' house. Father's had a heart attack. The mother came crying to me. And the mother was crying bitterly. And she said, I've got blood pressure now. I've been told that I've got diabetes because of the overstress that I'm going through because of this girl. Now I'm asking this girl, do you realize what you're doing to your parents? Husband's crying. That's one side of the story. Father's had a heart attack. Mother's in a bad shape, health-wise. What do you have to say about it? She said they have to take hold of themselves. It's my life. It's my life. And I want to do with it how I want to. I do not want to bow down to these pressures. They've got to just control themselves. And maybe it's in their naseeb to have heart attack and blood pressure. Wow. She's failed as a daughter. She's failed as a wife. Does she know her duties towards her parents and her husband? And her younger sister, who's observing this about her, what do you think she is gathering from it? If she's sensible, she's going to gather, oh, I should not do this stuff, what she's doing. But if she's also like her, and if she has an awe about her elder sister and admiring her ways, she's going to do the same thing and think, wow, look at her, she's done her own thing, her own life. You know, sisters, our life is a treasure and it's an amana. We are just custodians of our parents and the relationships that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And we have to give their haqq. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, a good moment is the one who does not keep crying on the past, takes lessons from the past, does not keep worrying and being anxious about the future, because that's not for something that we can have any hold on, but lives his today in the best possible way. How are we living our today? I asked that girl after telling her this hadith, how are you living each day? Are you happy? And she said yes, she's okay about it. Why? She had so much pride and arrogance about herself. I asked her, how do you see yourself after 5 years from today? She said, I'll be happily married. I'm confident about it. And you know, after she went through a couple of months, she had this thing in her head, the arrogance filled in her head. You know how damaging it is for us to have such an arrogance in our heads. It can ruin us, destroy us. She took a divorce from this guy. She was divorced, she came back, stayed with her parents. Parents are more ill than they were before. That guy got married again. He's resettled. There were people very ready and willing to give it to this guy. I told you the guy didn't have any bad habits. But you know what she's going through? A lot of emotional problems. She's having regrets. She's having a lot of maybe, the thought process that goes through retrospective thinking of what have I done? But now, is it too late? Does she have a solution? She definitely does have a solution. It's not a dead case. The solution lies in her changing her attitude, changing herself. Solution is always there, just at the end of this line. But we don't reach there. We don't have an open mind to look at it, see it, find it, and apply it. The change lies in us. When we change our way of thinking, our attitudes, the entire scenario will change. And we'll give you more of such stories in the next episodes soon. Keep watching mybetterhalf.com. Give us your comments, opinions, share with us, express yourselves at express@mybetterhalf.com. Keep seeing us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.